Hello, what's up, guys? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time that you're watching me this morning from wherever possible across the globe. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Evans Okongo from Kenya. Always a pleasure having you around. And today, being the 7th day of April 2026, I want to welcome you in a very special way this day because I've got something very special that we want to share as parents. Those of you who are in Kenya, and I believe most of my viewers as at now are Kenyans, you might be aware, and you are certainly aware, that our children are home. This is the April holiday, the Easter holidays. They are already done and dusted, but as we are all aware, the holiday still continues. The vacation for them to be out of the school is still on until around 27th of April this month. Others will be leaving on 28th, others 29th, others 30th. So let's say the tail end of this month, the last week of this month will mark the end of the holidays. Parents, thank you because you're zealous in paying school fees for your children. Thank you because you've offered more often than once that which is required of them. Thank you. You are continuously and perpetually also ensuring that your children are well fed throughout the day. And you are working hard towards realizing that every now and again. I know most parents do not find an opportunity to come back home early because of the commitments here and there. Others are working very far from home. Therefore, they have left either one of the parents or they have left some guardian to take charge. That's still okay. But still, others are at home and they hardly find an opportunity to even fend for the family. There's a book I read when I was growing called Things Fall Apart. That book called Things Fall Apart is written by Chinua Achebe. Those of you who can remember that book, there was a character in that book called Unoka. And I can quote him actually. Can quote Chinua Achebe saying, Unoka, for that matter, was Okonkwo's father. During his days, he was lazy and improvident. He could not think even about tomorrow. And he owed people a few cows to quite some substantial amount. And whenever he owed somebody, Unoka could just come with a chalk on the wall and draw sticks to show how much debt he has with people. So a gentleman came that morning to ask for his debt that Unoka owed him. And then Unoka told him the sun rises on those who are standing before it rises on those who are sitting before it. Because according to Chinua Achebe, proverbs were palm oil with which words were eaten. So Unoka was referring to this debtor that his debt is small compared to those that he took the bigger ones. Hence saying that the sun rises on those who are standing before it rises on those who are sitting before it. To mean his debt is small and therefore he has to wait. But we were informed that he loved marrying. He loved marrying and he loved going to villages to play his flute. And whenever he could play the flute, he was quite aware that there was food. And it's even alluded that Unoka, I'm only quoting Things Fall Apart, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who have ever read that book. And it was alluded that whenever Unoka saw a dead person, he saw a mouth that was never filled with food. So there are parents who are like Unoka. Parents who just want to sit there, do nothing, and also their work is to inquire where some Marys or merry-go-rounds are. They go there and they feast and they forget their core responsibility of are taking care of the children. Now, those of you who have children like me, I'm your fellow parent, you've been called to a very important office. The office of ensuring that your children are well nurtured. Leave alone paying fee and doing other things. You know, you are the role model. You are supposed to be the mentor. You are supposed to be the dictionary of life to them. You are the calabash of wisdom. Call it all adjectives you'd want, because a parent naturally is the oldest in the family, and therefore you are required to show light to the children. So as they are in the holiday, I don't know how much light you have shed to your children, and this is an advice now to our parents, wherever you are, across the globe, wherever you are during this holiday. So God has given you a rare gem. God has given you a rare blessing. There are those who have wanted to have children, but it has turned out to be difficult. I was looking on YouTube another day, a certain family, a couple, they have tried to have children 6 times, but 6 out of 6 have been miscarriages. The 7th time, they did try, and God was so wonderful to them, they got a child. That is what a celebration. So if you think God gave you a blessing just to joke about, allow me tell you that mtoto si nguo. Mtoto is not a cloth that you can go somewhere, uombe, then you upewe. It's not easy like that. No, we have to be categorical here. These are precious people who will define our posterity. And therefore, taking care of them is our commandate as parents. Colleagues, parents, both men and women, fathers and mothers, ladies and gentlemen, we want to take an opportunity to even praise the Lord for giving us these children. But see, some of us have brought these children up with difficulties. Look at the poverty level or the poverty index in our society today. Look at how you struggle to even put a morsel of food on the table. Look at how expensive it is. The other day I was going to our Sirari border here. I live in Hispania border. Just taking daga or omena, the way we call it, the finger fish, those small fish, to come and maybe dine with my children. I learned for you to buy just 100 bob fish, it's not even sufficient. Go to 200, go to 300. It's not fish. It's not sufficient. My children had closed to school and they had come from their various schools where they are. So I wanted to change a diet, because when we went to their school, my firstborn is in one of the schools in Rachuanyo. So I went there and I remember the PHA saying, my daughters, what do you want to eat? Then girls shouted, chicken, fish. So I felt like a father, I must do something definitely to change the diet from that of the school. So I waited for all to close school and they came. So I decided to go buy fish. In our town, we buy fish on our weighing machine. So you weigh the fish. So I wanted a 2 kilogram fish. 2 kilogram fish costed me a poultry 1,000 shillings. I don't know how much dollars is that. It's like $8-9 here in Africa, you know. Of course, other countries, I know 2 kgs fish can cost as much money as possible, depending on the economy of the country where you come from. So I learned if I can spend on a meal, just one meal, 1,000 shillings, one meal. How much money do you think you can spend in a day? You need to work hard to ensure. I don't want to imply that those with small families, they use small amount. No. Kwanza nimegundua the bigger the family, the smaller the amount of money you might choose. Because some people eat foods in courses. Some start with fruits, they go with the main meal, then later they finish with a drink. You know, depending on the choice and depending on the lifestyle. That's you. But nonetheless, I'm not here to tell you how you are eating or how you are supposed to eat. But I'm talking about rearing of children. Yes, we are doing the physical attributes adequately the way it is required. We have ensured that they have clothes to wear. We have ensured that they have a place to sleep. We have ensured that they have food to eat. But is that all? As a parent, is that all? Wherever you are, according to you, you have paid school fees. Even now, I know some are still paying, like me, I'm paying, yeah? I've started to reduce, of course. You pay in reducing formula. I'm reducing. Whenever I get some cash, I run, I reduce. I run, I reduce. Different schools where they are. That's my mantra, you know? I was born to offer solutions to the problems affecting humanity, and that is the mantra I share with my children. But dear parents, is that all that we are supposed to do? As a teacher also and as a parent, I've learned that that is not all. So what is all? Our children have come home. You as a parent, you've not read that newsletter that your child was given from school. So go ensure you read it. That newsletter will tell you the school progress throughout the term. It will also help you to know the projection of the school in the following term. So go ensure you read it, which I know most of you parents have not read. That's one. Check on that same newsletter, modes of payment. Some of you say, oh, I paid. You know, sometimes you might pay school fees through a conman. Just because there is teacher A and P in that school, you send fee to that teacher to pay for you because of the distance. My friend, you are cooking your own goose. The school has provided you with a pay bill, with a bank account. Every time your child closes, there is their bank account in that newsletter. And you have never, ever even thought to even write it somewhere so that you can always pay fee in that manner. I saw a certain parent complaining that, you know, I used to give teacher so and so a certain sum of money to pay for my daughter, only to come to this school and learn that the teacher got transferred wrong ago and that there is nothing. A total poultry 36,000. You utakufa na pressure. Take care of your monies. So read that newsletter, go through the nitty-gritties, pay your fee through the requisite mode. The fact that that teacher is your relative, that teacher is your friend, that teacher knows you better, that teacher does ABC, my friend, is also a human being. And the scriptures I read tell me that every human being is a sinner, up to including that teacher, therefore, is a human being. So be very careful. Be very, very careful, my parents. Nakuchanua. Pay money through the school account. Once you have paid money, read and understand the school accounts and know how the account operates. Reconcile what you have paid and what has been receipted. Let your child give you the receipt, because if you never went there in person, the child was receipted, was given a receipt. Follow it up. If possible, have the class teacher's number and let him or her follow the receipt for you on your behalf, because he or she is the parent of that child in that school. Some schools are very huge. A school might be having over 10 streams. You cannot expect the principal of that institution to know everything. So there must be that class principal, that class teacher. That is the one you should do a follow-up with. And don't inbox him quarreling on the general WhatsApp group. That's not good. It's uncouth. Check on him, check on her privately. Nyuma ya tent, huko. Talk to him, talk to her. Let that teacher help you realize or reconcile what you've paid and what you have not paid. I know there are some amounts that do not go to the school account, depending on every school. They have baptized them in various names. Some call it academic improvement, some call it tuition, some I don't know. The names they call, they have to baptize it so that they get that which is required, which is okay. As long as the Parents Association has accepted, don't go out being roguey, starting to fight. Oh, they are becoming too much on us. Whether you complain, your child must learn, and that is it. And when you come to clear, you must clear. So that amount which is not properly receipted, follow it up. Have a proper record. Yes, so that you understand what is required of you. So if they are paying 3,000 or 2,000 per term, it's your business to do a follow-up and ensure that that money is paid. I am here on the Parents' Assembly, and I am addressing parents who are watching me, whether you are seated, sleeping, eating, doing whatever you are doing. This one is your core mandate. It's an obligation. You cannot abdicate. Your child must go to school and your child must learn, whether you have or you don't have. If you don't have, look for modalities of getting. This world does not forgive those who have and those who do not have. So those who have will always push very fast. And when you don't have, you want to cry, nobody will understand. Therefore, look for modalities of getting something. If it's a loan, run for a loan very fast. Of course, that is an investment. Education is an investment, parents. So don't say, oh, ninalipa hii pesa, and then I don't see what is going to help. No. Education is not like maize which has been planted today. Education is something which is long-term. You can invest today, but the result will be realized after many years. When your child becomes a doctor, when your child becomes a teacher, when your child becomes somebody formidable in the society, becomes a driver of the bus that drives people from border to border, when your child becomes that accountant in that particular, when your child becomes a bassa, when your child becomes a commentator like I am, when your child becomes a journalist and everybody is watching and appreciating the work that the child is doing, when your child, when your child becomes a mechanic, when your child becomes the engineer, when your child becomes, my goodness, when your child becomes a hospitality management officer, when your child becomes a human resource officer, when your child becomes a director, hiyo kazi ni kidogo. Or do you think that you are taking children to school not when your child becomes an agricultural officer, extension officer, a veterinary, a pharmacist, a clinician, a nurse? All those are jobs that are available and they are there to solve problems that are affecting humanity. Yes. Unless you are taking your child to school and you feel like this is a zombie I'm taking to school. And I believe there is no zombie. A child well-trained can be even a caretaker of a particular place. These are children who are going to work in the diaspora. Then people who are getting prepared to go to very far places like that, you look at them with disdain. No. I remember when our parents were taking us to school, they could not foresee that we could be able even to speak English for 20 minutes. But today, you see, we are here. We are helping people. We are helping the society in one way or the other solve their problems. So there's no child who is stupid. A good example is me, who used to be number 89 out of 92 in a class where I was in Kericho. The day I became number 54 out of 89, I don't know the three where they went, that's the day I saw light. The day I became number 10, because children are meant to be progressively improving. We used to use numbers ordinarily, chronologically in this class to check on our improvement, despite the marks we used to score. But you cannot climb numbers, be the top in the class when you are not improving in your marks. It doesn't work that way. So motivate these children. When children come back home from school, that is another school they are joining. The one they go where you pay school fees is theoretical. But when they come back home, this is a practical institution. A practical institution where you must be the supervisor. You are the head of an institution. You are the parent. If you are a single parent, you are the boss. It is you who will say what will happen. If you say yes for breakfast, they will eat breakfast. If you say I don't have anything, they'll keep quiet like that, even if they are grown and bearded like I am. So you are a very important person as a parent. I want to congratulate you and even applaud you for that. But dear parents, how often have you taken time to sit down your child and guide him and guide her, counsel him, counsel her, to know the aspirations, to know the ambitions that that child has, to know the career issues that he or she wants to. There are those parents who believe that they bore doctors because nursing and the medicine is what is paying people. So everybody wants every child to be a doctor. It's not possible. In a demographic situation of our nature, it's not possible for all of us to be madaktari. There must be those who must also help elsewhere. If all of them want to become surgeons, who will teach our children? Who will teach our children? If all of them want to be teachers, who will do agriculture for us to eat? And there's a way God balances the economy. There's a way God balances human beings. So everybody born has been given a different talent. Help nurture the talent of that child. My parents. I don't know whether what I'm talking is also what you are seeing. So there are some parents who just believe they did not bear an agriculture officer. They only bore people who will rule the world. Leaders who will be doing political science. When even back in the village, they are not known anywhere. Back in the society, they have not impacted anywhere. Just because you think you are a boss elsewhere, your child is also a boss. No. You are a boss because of the nature of the seed that bore you. But you also went and married somebody else whose seed is different from that of your parents. So God has a way, He's trying to make His own hybrid. For that matter, God has a solution for every one of us. So what I'm trying to imply here, parents, is that let us begin with the word of God. We take our children to the church. We pray for them. We guide them spiritually, biblically. Some of them are already tainted because they do not know God. They do not know the scriptures. Their minds have been retarded. They do not believe in a supernatural being. Some of the parents, I'm sorry, they have taken their children to witch doctors. They have taken their children to people who can give them some amulets and charms so that they can be, formidable in the society. Those are not proper trainings. The only proper... go ask that lady in the Bible, the mother to Samuel. Go ask the mother to Moses. Go ask the mother to even Jacob. Go ask. And you can only ask them through studying the scripture. You will realize that they were given a special power to lead and guide their children religiously. And these are the children who became formidable in the society. Tell me the witchcraft of Endori. What type of child she brought up? If you read the scriptures, of course, this is a soft talk. Just a soft talk. So I believe some parents are very crazy. They think that those people who are hidden somewhere in very dark rooms with some funny calabashes, juggling them like this and talking some funny language, and you give a lot of money, makes their children famous. Nothing. The only one who is able to make your child famous is God Himself. So I commend you to God. Let your worries be cast upon Him. and let your family be molded towards God, and then they will be able to realize a lot. God is not very distant. God is omnipresent. God is omniscient. So the aspect of religion this holiday must be imputed in the minds of our children. Yes, parents must be imputed, just imbute in our children the religious aspect. Let children grow knowing God. Yeah. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse number 4 to verse number 7, somewhere there, you can read it on your own. We have been commissioned to teach our children the law, precept upon precept, precept upon precept. Let us teach these children to know and acknowledge God. God who has given us life by grace. Yes. So when you sit with them and show them Christ, also sit with them and learn of the changes that have been effected in them. You know, you took a skinny girl, you took a skinny boy to a high school recently, but the boy has come, his shoulder is now very bald, you know, it's very widened. His voice is now very coarse, huh? Daddy, how are you? You see, we have woken up, but nonetheless. You know, he went to school without beards. Now he has come back with beards. This is all an adult. The only difference between you and him is that you have an ID card, an identification card, and that you are able to fend for him. But him is on the way coming. Maybe he can fend for you better than you have fended for him. So sit him down. Sit her down. Understand her. The modern society requires talking than punishing. Talk to them more often. Show them the world. Be realistic. Do not think that you are in a movie trying to show children that I want you to be a pilot, which you never were. I want you to be a medical officer, you know. You must first assess the ability. A child has come. They are asked, you know, when we were growing, there was this report card, sort of report forms we used to bring home. So sometimes when a child does not score well, reaches on the way, looks for a good calligrapher, changes that with a whiteout, of course, and the parents did not know that pieces of chalk were casted along that report card, and then they erase, and then they write, they connote a new number. So when they come home, oh, you say, oh, my child did very good. You're not very sure whether we are now those parents who used to cheat. Yes? Nowadays, the technology has advanced. We have platforms that give you results firsthand. They are not able to change. I saw mine through Azaraki. You know, I got the report before she came. So when she comes, I know what she scored. Another one through another platform, I saw. When they came, I'm able to say, okay, this is how you scored, okay, this is how you scored chemistry, okay, this is how you scored biology, okay. Now let me sit you down and let's agree. So we set goals. And if a child has improved, I don't know why we as parents do not motivate them. Let us motivate our children. I'm sorry, you know, this is something that was pressing me. Let us motivate our children. If you promised to give some motivation or take a child to a tour, do that. This is the time. If the child did improve. You know, I've learned that motivation is the medicine that it treats stupidity. So you, as your child is going back, just tell her or him that, my son or daughter, if you go back to school and improve your mathematics grade from a D, let's say, to a C, I'll buy you a dress. I'll take you to a short. I'll go and spoil you a little. You know, that's the language they use, coded language. Yeah? I'll spoil you. Huh? That is, you'll motivate. And ensure you spoil that child the way you agreed. I'm saying spoil through quote and quote. Yeah. But if you forget and the child is struggling, the child might not see the necessity of working hard. Then, when they are home, show them the future. Remind them, You are here today, you are 18. You are here today, you are 15. Remember, time lapses. One day you will be 25. What will you be doing when you will be 25? Take him all around an imaginary tour of people who are 25 years. What are they doing? Some are medical officers, some are teachers, and still some are vagabonds. They are loafers. They walk around the society. They drink, and they are so lagged and wretched the way they live. So ask him or her to choose. But the best way is to expose your child beforehand. When you have an opportunity like this, take him to cities, take him to big towns, show him offices. Whenever you are going to do 1, 2 in town, let that child accompany you. Let him or her understand those who are working hard. If possible, be a content creator yourself. Go there, ask some people in the shops, all those who do business. How did you get here? Let the child reason to those stories. By so doing, the child will be motivated. If you only think it's bookwork peke yake, after bookwork, there is reality in life. The reality checks are sometimes very tough. Let the child be shown how to weed the flowers. Let them trim do a lot of work, so that the child can be all round. We are living in a society where a lot of children want to have their nails very long, artificial nails, and then they walk with the bling bling. It's like they are made out of, I don't know, my friends. Tusidekeze watoto sana. That's uncouth. So let them be guided. Let them be guided before they go back home. Scrutinize every learning area. Your child might be strong in sciences, but weak in humanities. Your child might be very strong in humanities, but weak in sciences. But at the tail end, there is what we call Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Service, KUSIPS. These things, when they are, this organization, when it is taking charge to place your child where he or she fits, will look at these things holistically. There are core subjects or core learning areas that must be well performed for you to get a formidable, a good career. So for that matter, let your child be informed that before long, we have to improve here, Daddy. We have to improve here, Mommy. The way we call them, of course, these children, we have called them the names of our fathers, the names of our mothers. We've called them the names of our in-laws, the names of those good friends who departed, all the names of superstars whom we like. Like I saw one called Condoriza. Condoriza, that's not anywhere else. It's around our home, actually. There's a child called Condoriza, but Condoriza is a name that I remember of a particular leader in the U.S. who was called Condoleezza Rice. And I know when that girl was born, that's how the parents felt like, okay, let's call this child of ours Condoleezza. I'm only giving a case study. I do not have any vendetta with any child. Kindly take me positive. Some have been called names of presidents of the world. Some are called names of countries. Like I found one child called Bolivia. Bolivia is a country. Another one is called Colombia. So in a family, children are called names of different countries. There is one I saw called Africa, which is okay. So call your Africa, call your Bolivia, call your Colombia. Tell him or her that there are others called names of places like Denver in the US. So call your Denver. Talk to Denver. Tell Denver that, my girl, for us to reach Denver. Others are called Singapore. Yeah, I saw another child born the other day, and the name was authentically inscribed Singapore. Singapore, Singapore is also a country, but it's also a name of a person, Any name you have chosen to call your child, that's the name which is heaven sent. I do not have vendetta with it. Allow me to say that call your child by name. Just like God called us by name. Talk to your child who understands. And for those who have young children, of course, you are right on track. Take care of those children. It's your obligation. Do not abdicate the duty to anybody else. Talk to that child of yours. Guide that child this holiday. So, the children have had some queer behavior. While at school, some have had bad peer influence. Some have come with the contrabands. They have come with the things you never bought for them. Your child comes home with the shoes you never bought. Then you cannot ask. Your child is a thief. One day you'll be called to school, you buy double. Your child has come with a sweater that does not have that print of his or hers. Was given print number 500, he has come with print number 1000. Then you say, oh, my child is like neema imemwangukia. Hakuna neema hapo. Stop meddling. Get to know and be zealous, because one day that child will be found and they will not like the music that you are likely to face. If you know, parents. If you know, you know. What you have not bought, that's not yours. Another parent has struggled to have that. Why are you entertaining nonsense and uncouth behaviors in the family? Check. Mothers, check the box of that girl. You might find some of them, are lesbians. You see a girl and you think this girl is very faithful, is very born again. Go through that box. Even when she's not there, you can make an impromptu check. You realize things you have never known. Check that box of that boy. You might find he became a drug addict long ago without your knowledge. So we have to take care. Pop into their rooms when they are unexpecting. You realize they have big phones they have been bought for and you do not know. They are seriously cheating that they are studying only to find they are communicating with friends. I do not deny communicating with friends, but why in a hidden manner? Anything done in secret, that's never good. That's never good. Open up, tell them that this is not time to make friends, as in boyfriends and girlfriends, fiancés and whatever, unless they want to be married while in school. And if they are married while in school, why are you paying school fees anyway? Why? Why are you struggling? You are having a lot of debts here and there and taking somebody's woman to school. No. You must sit down these children, because they are the solutions that we are waiting in our future. They are the people help us stand when we are unable to stand. Therefore, we must be cautious. These are investments that God has given us, and we cannot relent whatsoever. We must walk with them this journey. Nowadays, there is what we call in CBC, that is competence-based curriculum or competence-based education, parental involvement. How much have you been involved with your child? How much, surely? How much have you been involved with your child? So you think that the child has grown, and it's through the grace you keep on praying, oh Lord Jehovah, through your grace my child has grown. You must have an impetus in that child. You must have an input. Make sure that that child is well informed. You don't need to read books to understand the mess, because you see the world from a proper worldview than that child. Let that child understand. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you, because being on an assembly of the parents and discussing the character of their children is not 1 + 1. But today I've cascaded what that I thought should be known by you parents. Of course, I've not finished all, but I look forward that we keep on having this assembly. We learn one another, we help one another, so that our children will realize what is required. In the meantime, continue looking for school fees. In the meantime, continue preparing. Some of your children came home without proper dress code. Change the dresses. Those who have outgrown their uniform, make sure that they have a new uniform. Those who have been sick because they came home maybe coughing too much, some are having malaria, ensure that they are taken care of. Some came home when their teeth is actually aching, take them to the dentist so that they can be checked. Some have problems in the eye, go check, correct that. You have enough time before long so that your child can once again go back glowing and growing strong, so that At the tail end, we can have children who will be hardworking wherever they are. We look forward to having our children back to school. Make sure they have sufficient pocket money. You know, it's an good when others are taking buns, mandazi, and the yours is just whispering, hissing, taking tea like that, or a porridge, and it's burning you lips. You know, it's not good. It embarrasses the child, and the child is not comfortable. So make sure that your child is comfortable, cushioned properly in school, so that he cannot have or she cannot have the appetite to steal from others, you know, and learn some uncouth behaviors which is not welcome in the society. Ensure that that child is well trimmed in the air. Those who plate, make sure they plate proper, they blow dry so that they can go. You know, there are some schools which do not plate, others just blow dry. But if they plate, make sure the child plates good and looks wonderful going back to school. Keep on reminding them the family mantra, the family philosophy. Some families have motto, motto like a school. You know, a school is the school, also the family is another school. Train them amicably and ensure that they realize that which is required of them. And at the tail end, we shall have a very, very formidable group. I wish you well, my dear parents, as you continue working hard. In case you are new here and you have never had the opportunity of meeting me, this is Evans Okongo from Kenya. Always a pleasure having you around. Today I had the assembly for the parents, and I believe you have taken note of what you are required to do in the course of this holiday. Speak to your children so that they improve their grades. Ensure you check their welfare before they go back home. Let them tell you the shortcomings so that you can address them. At the tail end, you shall have a wonderful group going back to school. See you again in another assembly.